man, we need to reiterate that honoring our parents, honoring our mothers, being appreciative for those who stepped up and were mothers in our lives, and also the value and importance. We need to challenge and remind mothers that you hold a position that God entrusted you with. The condition of your position changes, but your position is a position of honor, and it is established and it lasts the lifetime of your children. Even after you're gone, mothers, your position is an honored position. The conditions change, but the position remains the same. So we're going to focus today, and we're going to look at the mother, Mary, Jesus' own mother. We're going to study her. And listen, here's one thing I know for a fact. Mothers deal with problems, right? Mothers deal with pain, right? And mothers strive to protect their children from shame and all those heartaches and pains. So moms on a daily basis, especially if you got little kids, moms on a daily basis deal with problems and pain, and they're constantly trying to help protect their children and how to watch over them and shepherd them like little hens. And so I thought, what would mothers, if you give mothers the option and said, across the board, you mothers could have one, all of you had to agree, but if you all agreed you could have this one Mother's Day gift across the board, everybody got it, it would probably be that mothers all would unite and say, we want nothing. No problems, no heartache, no pain, right? No catastrophes, tragedies, none of that. We want nothing today. Let's just not have my normal Mother's Day, right? So if Mother's Day, if we could give mothers the one thing that mothers would want most of all, would be that they would not have a Mother's Day on Mother's Day. Follow me? So I can't do that for y'all. Mother's Day is 365, 24/7, right? It's just what mothers do. But let's look at Mary, and we're going to I'm going to touch in John, but we're going to teach Luke chapter 2 as fast as I can today. So John chapter 2, this is a real cool story. All these things happen. There's a problem, there's pain, and there's protection. It all happens in John chapter 2. Verse 1 through 3 says, on the third day there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus also was invited to the wedding with his disciples. When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, they have no wine. Now we all know this teaching. We all know this is the first public sign or display of power that Jesus had. But I'm going to ask you not to be a theologian today. I'm going to ask you to be a person, okay? I'm going to ask you to just watch this movie in your brain and see the interaction between a mother and her son, her grown son. And let your mind and let your imagination be freed up. Don't be bound by rules. Just open up a little bit, okay? Mary comes to Jesus. Now, this is an important wedding, and I'm pretty positive, and there's a lot of people that think that this wedding was actually the wedding of John, one of the disciples. John and James's mother's name was Salome. Salome was Mary's sister. I've done a lot of weddings, and I can tell you, women do not like for there to be problems at weddings. And when there's a problem at the wedding, the sister to the mother of the one getting married, just Godzilla comes over her. I mean, she is. You don't worry about. I'll fix it. You don't worry about this. They tell the mother of the bride or groom, don't worry about this. I'm going to take care of it for you. And it's like this cape comes out, this wedding saver. Dun, 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 it's like, oh, and I've been the guy with the Bible in my hand, and they're coming down the aisle at me, and I'm like, this is not going to be good. And they come, and they're like, there's a problem, and we're fixing it. And I'm like, oh. So I think, listen, I don't have any, it's not in the Bible that backs me up on this, just connecting dots. This wedding is extremely important to Mary because she's involved. Mary's connected by family because in that region, in that time, when you hosted a wedding, that weddings lasted over 7 days. There were large parties, lots of fellowshipping, eating. Bride and grooms didn't go on honeymoons. It was a family. It was a big community family celebration. And if the family ran out of wine, them sons was shamed. I mean, I could give y'all an analogy to back in the day in the pasture, but y'all know what I'm saying? You was a dud if you run out. And if you run out of wine, it's like, are you serious? This is a wedding feast. This is a wedding. And you're out of wine on the third day? We ain't even got going good. You know, it's like, are you serious? And so this is an issue, and it's an issue for the entire family. Mary's not going to let this bring shame to the family. So she comes to Jesus to fix the problem. There is a problem, and Mary turns to her son to fix the problem. And so my first question is, why would Mary turn to Jesus? Well, I'm convinced, I know, that Joseph was already dead. Jesus was the oldest son. And so Jesus, being the oldest son, has had the responsibility of solving all of Mary's issues and problems. He was the solver. He was the lead spiritual leader and in the position of headship of his family because Joseph was dead and Jesus was the oldest son. Are y'all following me? That's why she come to Jesus and said, fix this problem. Mary goes and says, we need to fix this. And then now this problem becomes a disagreement. How many of y'all know mothers deal with disagreements all the time, right? How many of y'all's kids disagree with y'all? Mine don't disagree with me. They may not like me. I don't care. They may cuss me. I don't care. They may not speak to me. I don't lose no sleep. But they're not going to disagree with me. You know why? I am right even when I'm wrong. Moms ain't wired that way. Moms aren't, and kids disagree with their moms. And now listen, the first two kids we raised, I struggled with this because I didn't think they was allowed to disagree. Well, you don't have a brain. You can't have a brain till you move out. Mom would be like, Christy would be like, Jay, you can't talk to them girls like that. You can't be so hard on them girls. I'm being hard on them. They need to just say, yes, sir. That's the only words they need to know till they move out. I don't care after that. I mean, they'll be good to go. I mean, but moms are different, and praise God, y'all are different. Because if you don't disagree, listen, it's in the disagreements of life that you really find trust in each other. As long as I make my kids agree with everything I say, they don't have to trust me because they don't have no option. But when we can disagree and we can maintain our position as parent and child and maintain our position of honor, even though we're not in full agreement, we can begin to develop trust because they got to figure out who they are. And as they learn who they are, they got to trust that I will maintain, or mothers will maintain the position of motherhood throughout their life. And so disagreements is when you really find out how much trust there is in your relationship. Am I right? You have a disagreement with your spouse. In the beginning, you thought it was life ending. You're 32. Disagreement don't last 5 minutes, and it don't cause either one of us to get a beep in our heart. Why? Because there's been so many of them over the last 32 years. I know this ain't going to matter to a hill of beans in 30 minutes, but I mean, my next question is, what we eating tonight? But we're not in agreement on this. Okay, babe, I know, but we're still going to the same bedroom. We're still going to roll over and go to sleep at the same time, and then you're still going to be mad because the TV's on too loud. Right? So even though we disagree just as much now as maybe we ever have, our disagreements aren't that big of a deal. They're not a deal at all because of the trust that's been developed from all of our disagreements. Are y'all following me? And so I don't know how people that don't disagree build their trust. We built our trust one fight at a time. We built our trust in our children's trust in us. I'm sure it's not the right way, but it came from problems that we had. It came from when one of my kids called me and said, Dad, can you come get me? And I said, I'll be there. Dad, please be nice. Don't tell me how to be when I get there. Just know I'm coming. Amen? So I just want you to see problems, and then comes disagreements, and it wasn't my fault. I don't care if it was your fault anyway. When the disagreement comes, we develop. Look here at this disagreement. Luke in verses 46 and 51 it says, after 3 days they found him in the temple sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. And when his parents saw him, they were astonished. And his mother said to him, son, why have you treated us so? Behold, your father and I have been searching for you in great distress. And he has said to them, why were you looking for me? Do you not know that I must be in my father's house? Look here. And they did not understand the saying that he spoke to them. Now we know what this is about, right? Jesus is around 12. They're all leaving Jerusalem, and Jesus kind of peels out of the crowd and drifts back in there to hang out in the temple. And they can't find him. 3 days later, they find him in the temple. Right, and mom is smoking his can. She is all up on him. And Jesus like, what's up? Now, you know what? Hello, duh. Basically, I mean, I know y'all are thinking, oh my gosh, you can't see that. But Jesus was a 13-year-old kid. What you think he said to his mama? He wasn't holier than thou as a 13-year-old kid. He was Jesus, the Son, in the flesh. And he said, Mom, why are you panicking? Do you know I had to be about my Father's business? Come on, man. And Joseph's over there, bless his heart. He's scratching his head. I don't know what to do with that woman or that boy. I don't have a clue. Right? Jesus said, well, why are you panicking? Why? And listen, this is huge. It says they did not understand the sayings that he spoke to them. And then it says, and he went down with them, and they came to Nazareth, and was in submission to them. His mother treasured up, here it is again, all these things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. Let me ask y'all a question. When y'all's kids got 13, how many of y'all thought they lost their ever-loving mind? 13, 14, 15, and you people in puberty make no sense. Y'all, I don't understand none of it. How many of y'all blamed your kids for your lack of understanding? Do you see what Mary did? Mary protected Jesus and said, and the word says that they didn't understand. Not Jesus was not understandable. They didn't understand what he was saying. So I'm telling you right now, as a mother, when your children they're not making sense to you, don't condemn them for not being able to be making sense. Just take it upon yourself to say, I just can't understand all that. Do y'all see the difference? It's a huge difference. And who's to make the most difference for? Your kid. And that's what moms do. They treasure this. Listen, she treasured this. She treasured the confusion. She's like, okay, this is kind of jacked up, but Jesus, you going with us. We're going back home. We're in a disagreement. There's a problem. There's a disagreement. We're going home, and I don't understand you right now, but we're going home. And because Mary treasured this time in her heart, the frustrations and the struggles, you wonder why nothing's written about Jesus in his teenage years? That's all you get. You want to know why? Because his mama didn't tell nobody nothing. When he forgot to take the trash out, his mama let it go. Are y'all following me? When he got a bad grade on his report card, she didn't make it public knowledge. She protected him. And she kept those details close to her heart because she knew there was a plan for him. She knew the value of him. She knew, I know things everybody don't need to know. Can I just tell you, mamas, you know things that everybody don't need to know. And the better you protect your children from the things that nobody else needs to know, the more your kids will trust you for the things only you need to know. Are you listening? If you as a mother go, my kids don't tell me nothing. It's not your kids. It's a big possibility they don't trust you with what nobody else needs to know. Because when a kid trusts mom, they tell mom stuff. You'd be like, you ain't got to tell me that. Am I right? Kid run out, 5 years old, been to the potty. It's big, mama. Come look. It's because they trust his mama. He made a big time achievement here. We made it. Look what we built. Because you know what? Because they trust their mama. And so build on that trust. How do you build, mamas, how do you build that trust? You treasure the things that nobody else needs to know. You treasure them. There's things that your mamas know that nobody will ever know, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. Protect your children. Mary protected Jesus and kept these treasures close to her heart so that nobody, good or bad, because there was other people who would have took Jesus out as a teenager, right? The devil would have come at him hard as a teenager. The devil would have threw things at him to throw him off of God's purpose and calling, right? The devil would have attacked him left and right. Mary treasured these things. She didn't let these things get out. She treasured, she protected. Even though there was a disagreement, she protected. Moms, please, please protect your children and hold their deepest secrets close to your heart. Don't make them public. Don't make them public. And so there's pain, there's disagreement, there's a problem, but there is an answer. There is an answer. It's found in John 2:5. His mother said to the servants, I skipped John 2:4, didn't I? Darn. John 2:4. Did I read John 2:4? Okay, I'm supposed to have read that before I did that whole last talk. Jesus said to her, woman, what does this have to do with me? Why are you, my time, my hour has not yet come. In the actual language, Jesus says, what has this got to do with me and you? I've never understood that till this week. What that means is, if you read the very first part of John 2, Mary was invited to the wedding because who Mary was. And Mary came as a guest to the wedding party, right? Jesus was invited separate from his mother. They did not come together. Jesus and his disciples were invited. So Jesus is there, even though Mary's his mother, he's not there in the position of her son. He's there as position of leader of the disciples, teacher, rabbi. He's already began, and he's been noticed and recognized. That's why I'm pretty convinced this is John's wedding, and John invited his rabbi and all of the disciples that are following. They're not there together. Y'all follow me? And so when Mary has a problem, she's coming to Jesus as if Jesus was just her son, and Jesus is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not my role no more. My role, I'm the Messiah. My role is changing the world, and I have begun the calling. I've begun it, and I'm over here. Don't pull me back over there. Why do I believe that? Because Jesus taught throughout all the books. Jesus taught you must leave your father and mother. You must put your hand to the plow and not look back. When you begin your calling, when you become a man, put away childish things. Now, he respected his mama, but he said, this ain't got nothing to do with us. It's me and you ain't, why are you coming to me with your problems? Not being disrespectful in any way, just saying it's not for me to handle. I'm over here. Are y'all seeing what I'm saying? And I believe at that time, I think God said, yeah, fix it. Mary did not know Jesus was going to work a miracle. She did not come to Jesus for Jesus to transform water into wine. She just come to Jesus for Jesus to find some wine. Fix my problem. I don't care how you get it. Just fix it. Get a gas can, go prune a tree, pump some oil out, give me some wine. Jesus, send your posse, go gather it up. But Jesus, in his position now, transformed the water into wine. Mary's condition had changed. Her position was the same. All right, so then you get to the solution. Mary, his mother, said to the servants, do whatever he tells you. Now, I wish we could have an hour and a half for church. His mama did exactly what most of you mamas don't do. Moms, y'all know all moms carry this. It's built in y'all. Miss Sherry, don't look at me like that. You know I'm telling the truth. It's built in y'all. I think when y'all have birth, y'all give birth to a baby, there's something transition, this chip or something's implanted in mothers, and their instant answer from here on out is because I said so. I can't tell y'all how many times I've heard that. Because I've said so. That's why. How many of y'all mamas say that and be honest? Yeah. 5, there you go. Yeah. Now, if I ask the kids, how many of y'all's mamas say that? Every kid in here would stand up. Mary did not say to Jesus, because I said so. What did Mary say? Because he said so. She trusted her son so much in the middle of a problem, in the middle of a disagreement. Jesus disagreed. What's that got to do with me? What's that got to do with us? In the middle of a disagreement, she trusted him fully. And she told the servants, do whatever he tells you. She trusted him so much, She handed the whole situation off to him and let him handle it however he seen fit. Ooh, some of you mamas need to learn that. Turn it loose. Turn it over. Just trust him. Listen, I'll tell you something. I'm going to tell you right now, you will never know the man of God he can be if he don't stop being the boy his mama wanted him to be. You got to turn him loose. She said, just do whatever he says. She trusted in Jesus. And Jesus fixed the problem. But Mary believed in Jesus. I'm telling you right now, you mothers need to believe in your children. And let me just read, Luke 6 says, for no good tree bears bad fruit. No good tree, listen now, no good tree bears bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. For figs are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor grapes picked from brambling bushes. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good. What Mary been treasuring? Mary's been treasuring up in her heart the things about Jesus, right? She's been holding those things. All of his life, she held the good things. She treasured up the good things in her heart. She treasured up the good things of Jesus, and she spoke the good things of Jesus. I'm going to tell you, Mom, something. He goes on to say, and the evil person out of his evil treasure produces evil. And from out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I can tell you in about 10 minutes listening to mothers what they treasure about their children. Because they're either saying good things or bad things. Am I right? And whatever you speak into your children's life, they will have natural tendency to reproduce. You tell your kid they're dumb, they're going to make dumb decisions. They're going to have dumb situations. They're going to feel dumb. You tell your kid they're worthless, they're going to struggle feeling worthless the rest of their life. You tell your kid, I don't know why you got that idea, everything you try, you fail at. That kid will struggle with failure most all of his life. I tell you, I may have shared this with y'all before. When I was 10, I put my right out riding a horse trying to catch a bull. Ripped it out, and I caught it, shoved it back in there. They sewed it back together, but I don't see out of it. And for about 3 months, they made me stay in the house because they didn't want me to get out, fear of I'd get an infection in my eye, and with it being right there inside my head, it would lead to an infection in my head, and we didn't need no harm done up in that head. I stayed in the house for about 3 months. They did not have video games. We did not have cable TV and satellites in 1981. We had 2 channels and an antenna. Y'all remember the antennas? And I had a stepmother that was a mean woman. And I was trapped. That's why I didn't ever go to the penitentiary. I done my time. I've been on pardon ever since. But I started writing a book. I was 10 years old, and I started writing cow catching stories and just stuff. And this woman walked in there and asked me one time, what are you doing? And I said, I'm writing stories. And she looked at it and said, ain't nobody ever going to read them stupid stories, and walked out. I was 10 years old. I bet I've got 10 or 15 stories started in my computer. And you know the one thing I hear when I start to write a book? They ain't never going to read that crap. You moms need to speak treasures into your children's life, and you will only speak the things that you treasure in your heart. They only speak the things. Listen, it's pouring down rain. We need to let the rain let up. Thank you, Lord. Mothers, speak belief into your children. Mothers, you speak trust into your children. Your words are the seeds that are planted in your children's life that produce the life within them. Your treasure sets the produce in your children. It's amazing. It's a praise. I don't know what Dad's impact is. I hope not much, because I've been a pretty poor dad. So I'm going to close with this. Do you have a problem today? Do you have a disagreement? Do you know the answer? Listen, I'm talking about any problem in your life. No, I'm talking to all y'all now. All y'all. Because some of y'all got problems. Do you got a problem? Do you have disagreement where you're not like, there's turmoil. There's, I'm not okay with that. I can't do that. I don't believe it. Here you go. Do you not agree with me today? I hope you don't. Because if you don't agree with me, that means you're in a condition of disagreement. And no matter what problem you have, what pain you're feeling, or how much of a disagreement you're in, turmoil, inner turmoil, struggle, no matter how big it is, there is an answer. And Mary gave it to us in John chapter 2. Do whatever he says. Jesus is your answer. Do whatever he says. Do whatever he says. It may be crazy. No. It probably will be crazy. It probably ain't going to feel right. You probably ain't going to be comfortable. And you're probably going to think, I just leave it alone. I'm just going to leave it alone. Do whatever he says. And listen, I know Mary lived this till the bitter end. John 19, verses 26 and 27. The very end, Mary, the mother of Jesus, says Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved, John, standing nearby at the foot of the cross, right? And he says to his mother, woman, behold your son. He turned to the disciple and said, behold your mother. And from that hour, the disciple took her to his own. Mary stood at the foot of the cross with a huge problem and a bunch of disagreement. Let me tell you something. There's no greater problem than when moms lose their children. No greater problem. There's no greater disagreement with the scheme of life than when your children leave this earth before you do. And Mary standing in that very spot, watching her firstborn baby as life is leaving his body. She is in great pain. She is in very much disagreement with what's been done to her child. The position did not change. Do y'all see that? The condition changed. The condition changed. Listen, when you lose your child, you did not change position. You just changed condition. And on this earth, you have to grasp the need for your position and trust Jesus and follow Mary's example in adjusting to the new condition. You got to grasp, no matter what issue you have, no matter what problem you can't seem to get a handle on, the answer is in doing whatever he says.